And it looks like we are live. Everybody, welcome back to Battle Arena. This is game 2. My name is Ugly Tuco, and tonight I am joined by Cager and Santana Champagne. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, everyone.
And I think, Santana, you wanted to do a little intro?
I can do an intro. So, hello,
Sounds
everyone, and welcome to, as Tuco stated, Thursday Night Battle Arena, presented by the Trinity Force Network. And what we're doing here is we are trying to emulate a solo queue environment for you guys to partake in, so we can critique and give tips and help you guys get better at this game. And all we ask is you follow 4 rules. Just 4. We don't have too many. Tuco, what's number 1?
It's to have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Okay,
we're
cool.
we're,
All
we're
right,
here to
there
have
we
an
go.
enjoyable
That's one.
experience. So, no flaming, no trolling, none of that. Come on, guys, keep it serious, but have fun at the same time. We're here to learn. If you get dumpstered, it's okay. You'll get them next time, probably. Number 2, Tuco. Try this one again.
I would believe don't use TeamSpeak, Curse Voice, other related, messaging outlets.
Correct. So no voice comms, voice over IP, Skype, all that fun stuff, Dolby Accent, whatever. Right, like we said, trying to emulate a solo queue environment. So even though you could duo in a ranked environment, we're trying to avoid that altogether. So you use your pings and your short commands.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
No smurfing, guys. We will find out. We will ban you, and you will also be banned from all related T-Force events in the future. So,
Yep.
you are smurfing for some reason, don't join these. Go stomp your normals or whatever. This is for a learning experience. Not too many people learn by going 0-13 in lane.
Yeah.
And fourth, no target bans. You wouldn't be able to target ban in a solo queue game unless you are extremely high in Challenger.
Yeah.
You can't target ban here, even if you know who you're playing against. And that about wraps it up.
Yep. No, those are the rules. And with that, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the bans that have already happened. It's pretty basic. You have the Juggernauts, Darius, Mordekaiser. They're gone. Looks like Garen was left up, even though I don't think he's necessarily super strong. He's still pretty...
I don't think Garen's worth a ban these days.
Yeah. The Fiora is definitely more worth of a ban than him, I feel like. But
Garen gets kited just as easily as some of these other champions.
Noticed a lot of Vagar bans since Worlds.
Well, it's not... Well, he was seeing a lot of pick rate before Worlds with his 5 buffs in a row for some godforsaken reason, so he's just in a really good spot.
Yep.
And people would argue that Vygar's not broken, but the thing is, right now, it doesn't matter if only one of the other team's champions is building AP. He just presses R and they die. So it's essentially a 4v5, and his stun is really easy to hit again.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some nerfs come through on him on the PvE, but for now he's definitely worth a ban.
And I think that...
Also,
oh, go ahead.
Also, the Yasuo ban's a little odd. Usually you'll see if Vygar's up, Yasuo might get banned if the person wants to play Vygar, because Yasuo has a very good lane into Vygar for the most part.
Yep.
But seeing both banned is a little bit odd. I'm assuming the person just hates playing as Yasuo. But you were saying Tuco?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I thought you had something else to add there.
I completely forget already.
I'm really good at doing that.
Oh, I was gonna say the biggest buff that I thought Vygar had was that any dashes stop at the stun wall instead of completing and then being stunned. So
that is
as long as they keep that, I think he'll still be a pretty good pick. But
yeah.
The
thing against Vygar is he's kind of like Nasus in a way, in which you can't let him sit in lane and not apply pressure as a jungler. You have to go and gank that lane pre-6 just to make sure he doesn't get his Q stacks up. Otherwise, he's just gonna he in theory infinitely scales just like Nasus does, but unlike Nasus, he can reliably one shot, where Nasus has to kind of walk up.
Yeah.
So let's look at Pick a Man real quick. Cager, you're the new one here. What do you think of some of these picks coming through? What do you like? What don't you like?
I mean, blue team's high damage, no real beef to really fall back on. It looks a little hit or miss. You have huge damage coming from the bot lane, huge damage coming from the jungle, and then explosive damage coming from Annie. I'm not sure how that's going to quite do against this kind of semi-tanky, still has a lot of damage purple team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you maybe need a little bit more beef. I feel like Riven's going to have to go cool down health, armor, maybe everything too in order to even survive. But I mean, it still looks like it can do well, especially if Kha'Zix gets the ball rolling for these lanes. So I'm not quite sure how the Riven Garen lane works out. I would think Riven does okay in the beginning, and then Garen just kind of like takes over eventually.
The thing about the Riven Garen lane is I've seen this a couple times now. It's generally perceived as Garen is a Riven counter because he gets the silence on his Q, which can take away Riven's Q combos and whatnot. The problem can be is when if Riven does get an early kill, she can snowball very quickly into this lane because Garen, he's good right now. He's still strong, but Riven snowball is probably one of the hardest things to stop as a laner, especially if she knows the person playing Riven knows champion inside out, knows matchups and whatnot. So it's really gonna come down to if Kha'Zix applies early pressure, because as we see with a Diana pick, generally Dianas won't lanes pre-6 because it's really hard to gank as Diana. You're not taking E normally either. Even lane Diana usually won't take E until about level 8. You'll go QW, QW, QR, QE is usually your level up pattern.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for her to get in there. She could appear for counter ganks if she reads Kha'Zix correctly, but don't expect any help from these lanes. So
Yeah,
that's why I also like the Victor pick, but go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of engage for purple team, you basically have Alistar, Diana, and Garen. I really don't expect Baron to get in at all with Janna on the other team. That's like his perfect counter in terms of engage, and she can just slow or tornado or even ulti. The ones who have a chance to get in and maybe get something happening before they're blown away are Alistar and Diana. But Alistar, I feel like, might be used more as a peel machine, as he mostly should be in most cases, I feel like. Just to help Kalista and Victor when Kha'Zix and Riven decide to go ham onto their carries.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too.
The thing we're going to see is if blue team's going to want to try and get some early kills, some early pressure in their lanes, and get early ward control in purple team's jungle, and try and make picks with Annie Kha'Zix, or Riven Kha'Zix, or just Riven Annie. The burst damage there is really high, even for some of these tankier champions like Victor, like Garen, like Diana to an extent, like Alistar. But blue team also has a pretty good time wave clearing if, or purple team has a good time wave clearing if blue tries to siege here. Victor can just, if he goes first item, hex core upgrade in this CDR boots, he can just sit in mid and laser the wave for days.
Yeah.
I was gonna say blue teams has a real hard time wave clearing here, whereas just like you said, if they try and push in, red team's not gonna really have a problem, and vice versa too. If red wants to push and siege, they're gonna be able to just take every wave out and just put a lot of pressure on the turrets.
You're gonna see a lot of split push Riven this game, I'm assuming, and maybe even some split push Kha'Zix.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of split pushing, we're going to see a double teleport from one of the teams and not the other again this match. So
double TP is super strong right now.
Yeah.
Victor does have to be careful in this lane. If this is an experienced Annie player, she can potentially get a kill at level 2 just by Q auto harassing in lane and then immediately flashing, Wing, and igniting. But I expect the Victor to play safe, just farm with his E. But bot lane dynamics, Janna Draven's a pretty nasty lane.
It is definitely a nasty lane.
Pretty excited to see this bot lane. This Janna Draven, like you said, versus the Kalista Alistar. I'm thinking Alistar should give Kalista enough support to be able to ramp up, but if Draven's able to get a couple cash-ins, then it could be kind of a nightmare for the Kalista.
Well, if you look at just base abilities here, at level 1, Callista has, what does she have? 70, 8380. So it looks like she actually took.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
80.
That's really high for her actually.
She probably has 80 quints too.
Yeah, well, she's
80
got,
more
but she's
extents,
got
quints.
0.72 attack speed. I'll look at those later. But Draven's got 70. He'll get 32 off his Q, and then another, I think it's 17 here from the Janna. So essentially 49 damage extra, which makes his trading potential really strong in lane.
30 seconds until minions
Interesting
spawn.
wards coming out here. Usually you don't want to face check this Tribush by where Draven is, and Diana you normally don't want to face check that either, because if they're just stacked in this red bush, they could potentially kill you. It depends on if Annie stacked passive or not. It looks like she didn't. And Janna,
I like how Kha'Zix warded that bush too. Anytime you're late to that the middle bush, kind of where red is,
yeah,
and then you can ward it over the wall. You don't have to face check it.
correct. Generally, let's see. Annie skilled her Q, Victor skilled E. So generally you don't want to skill until you have to. So usually, right as laning phase starts or when you have to clear jungle camps. Because sometimes you will get a late invade and you'll need to take your movement speed ability first just so you don't have to die. Things like that. Looks like this Annie's playing pretty far back red lane. She's gonna try and Q farm. Janna third shield. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, typical jungle starts. They'll be moving on to their second buff here. I don't think we'll
And-
be seeing any level 2 ganks from either of them.
No, but Garen's actually putting himself at a disadvantage here. He's waiting to last hit. He should have tried to shove this in. Especially with, what did he take? He took Q. Okay, so he couldn't really shove this in, but Riven tends to take a camp at level 1, and most top laners these days will take a camp at level 1 or double jungle to get level 2. So you have to be aware of that, because now Riven's going to be able to pick up all this CS, and she'll have a full level advantage. Well, close to a full level advantage when she picks it up.
I would say, like, Annie, one small thing there to help improve your trade
Oh, we have
value.
a flash bot lane.
Oh,
Alistar flash is in there because they hit level 2 first.
yeah, I don't know why they're choosing to stay and fight this.
Oh, they just didn't Q now.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yup, all the minions there. Okay, so Alistar, right idea to try and fight there with level advantage. The problem is, can't just flash there. You can try and go for like a QE combo. QE? QE. No,
QW.
QW. Wrong champion.
WQ.
Nice
Yeah.
stun by Annie. He's got the red buff on him. He's gonna have to flip.
Nope.
He needed to
Nice,
flash
wow.
earlier.
If you're gonna flash, you have to flash immediately as soon as you see Kha'Zix in your lane.
Yeah,
'cause-
before that red buff gets applied to you.
And that Q animation will go through on flashes.
That was a good gank by Kha'Zix.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I was gonna say earlier to help Annie out with she traded with Victor when he used a Q on her with auto. She stunned and hit him with another spell and then walked away. You have enough time with Annie's stun to throw a weave in and auto attack in there before you can walk back,
oh,
just to give you a little bit more DPS.
Garen has to flash top lane. That level advantage kind of paying dividends for Riven there.
Yep.
I don't know if Garen needed the flash there. I think he could have got out without it, but
Yeah, I think he could have walked away, but
he's gonna have to.
this bot lane's still playing very aggressive, even though they don't have summoners. Kind of just a stall in the early game. Everybody's just farming. It's like buffs are gonna come back up here pretty soon.
Looks like Kha'Zix might go for a gank top here.
Yeah, with that no flash on Garen now, this is a good opportunity.
Oh!
So you stuttered your auto there. I think Riven did as well.
Both of them canceled.
Yeah. I see that happen a lot. You usually see it more on 80 carries. You'll see auto canceling. It's unfortunate, but it's something you'll get used to when you play more games.
Something
now-
to help prevent that is whenever you hit flash, hit A and click instead
Yeah.
of right clicking.
They
That'll
actually
help.
fixed it where you can prep that again now on your
Yep.
flashes. There's a thread on the front page this morning. I forget the actual terminology they use, but you can essentially pre-cast abilities and autos now before you flash.
Oh, like queue it up.
Yeah, it's essentially a queue.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Because they took it out 2 patches ago, but it's back now. Like, if you auto somebody, like, click on it and then flash, it should queue it up. It takes some practice, and if only we had Sandbox, you could practice
Right.
that, but it's just something to keep in mind. It's these little things that make you a better player, is knowing, oh, I can auto and then flash to get the range.
Another
or,
thing to notice would be Diana just ran through mid, and I know that there wasn't anything there for her to do, but she did just show herself to the enemy team by walking by those enemy minions. Just something to keep in mind, if you can avoid, if you're not like going to gank or doing something active, and it's always best to kind of keep yourself out of the eyesight of the enemy team so they don't know where you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have an all-in top lane. Riven hit 6 before this Garen. I don't think she's going to be able to get it here. Cooldowns. No,
Oh, the silence.
She
Got
gets the kill, but she needed to hold her W there.
So in that situation, as much as you want to go for the kill, you kick him out of lane. Like in, I don't know, you can use that CS advantage
Yeah.
because he might not.
Well,
go back
the
to
thing is, right
Garen's
now
passive.
she's sure it's a 1-for-1 trade, but she's denying XP right now.
That's true, and she's already got a CS advantage.
She's got a level advantage and a CS advantage, and she has TP still. So if she really wanted to, she could have TP'd and shoved this in the lane, but she looked like she's gonna hold that to apply more map pressure. This gank isn't gonna work by Diana. She's not 6 yet.
Yeah.
You need to be farming. You need to be going and getting 6 because Diana without 6 is pretty useless. Back to your point about walking through lanes. I will do that occasionally if I need to alleviate pressure on a lane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
it was,
my
it was
lane
the
is
thing
getting
where
shoved
Annie had backed. Victor was just pushing.
Yeah, I
up.
saw that at the end.
Yeah.
Like Annie had already backed and whatnot.
Oh, she's gonna walk right into
she
this.
didn't have the stun, but yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Diana couldn't get in there. Diana was 6 at that point. That probably would have been a kill. They burned flash anyway.
Yeah.
Like Diana's 6 now because she waited in lane so long. Okay, did he not upgrade? Okay, so Victor, it looks like you went on your first back. You got Boots, Amp Tome, and Doranring.
Yep.
The most important thing on Victor on his first back is to upgrade his Hex Core and upgrade E. So that allows you to wave clear. And it gives you extra AP and whatnot.
Diana's still hanging around mid. Trying
So
to get something
for future,
going.
yeah, for future reference, just make sure if you try and stay in lane for your 1,000 gold, and then upgrade your Hex Core. Oh, that Q silence.
Yeah, this top lane
Good play
is
by
just
the
a
Riven.
bloodbath. So it looks like Garen's picking up more health to combat the armor pen that Riven has.
Oh,
It
Not
is a hard
quite.
lane to. Close to Alistar is kind of hard to gank.
yeah, it's a really safe lane. Alistar can QW and then plus it can ult, and they just have so much stalling CC time that it's pretty hard to gank. And Alistar's ult doesn't allow him to die very easily. But this is really dangerous, Alistar. You probably should just back here. You have a trinket ward.
Nope.
So Diana's doing red buff. They can very well take this for free.
Yeah, Close is not there either.
They
They're
don't
gonna have
have
to
any
concede this.
vision though of the jungle entrances for. Like it's
Yeah,
kind
this-
of a dangerous move, but
Well, they pushed bot lane out, and
Yeah.
mid. They saw mid back too. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know if I agree with Reeves Callista this early.
I don't even know if I would get boots this early. I would just focus
Well,
on
the boots
finishing
do
your
help
board.
her out a lot with her
Yeah.
jumping.
For
but-
tier 1 boots is fine, I would, but I think if you're gonna go Blade, you want to finish Blade as soon as possible because we talked about this last week. When in 80 matchups, when you're building Blade versus Infinity Edge, that's a flash by Alistar. And here's Diana.
Diana's coming in.
Nice Diana ulti.
Oh, but yeah, look at the shield and the heal, and there's Riven. Oh boy. They're gonna get.
one kill.
They might get 2 here, depending if Callista. Oh,
The Callista's in the wrong direction.
Alistar knocked Riven into Callista.
Yeah.
Ooh, Stalker, you didn't have to flash there. I know you wanted to cash in, but
Just gotta get those stacks cashed
Oh.
in.
So this Riven's being very aggressive.
yep,
she
she's
should.
got a lead and she's snowballing
Yep.
with it. So that was Victor had TP, but he couldn't really TP from his mid just because
Good
Look,
job
Annie
by
was going lane.
Kha'Zix here to make sure top tower doesn't get taken.
yeah,
Like-
he's there.
If you're not like if you notice your top laner TPing to a certain area and you're not there to help out and you're somewhat close by to their lane, you can always just rotate there, get some free farm and prevent them from enemy top laner from taking the tower. It's pretty good idea.
This is me just being nitpicky, but Annie, when you put this pink ward in this bush, you want it as close to you as possible in that bush, so when they try to clear it,
Mhm.
especially as Annie, you
More
could
right
just...
here than there.
Yeah. So essentially, when they try and clear it, you can just kill them with Tibbers, or if you harass them out of it.
Yeah. Take a look at wards. Blue team has the river like
Yep,
lit
3
up
pinks,
like a Christmas
4
tree.
pinks actually, if you count this one in
Yeah.
top try. I don't know if that one's necessary, but
That's a
Yeah.
funny award.
well, it can be a very good ward depending on the matchup. If
Mhm.
it's something where you're afraid you're gonna get dived all the time, or mid's gonna roam up and kill you. Diana. Oh,
Diana might be
Tibbers
able to get
missed.
That
But-
isolation. Oh.
Flash in
Okay.
by Victor.
Move your ult,
Use-
move your ult, Victor.
move your ult.
There you
we
go.
go. Oh.
Gonna get some extra damage, not much. Oh, laser.
She's got a stun.
Oh.
She's gonna stop him.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
Tibbers with the KO.
and Riven with the all-in top lane again. This is what we talked about earlier.
Unstoppable.
Yep.
The Riven snowball.
Yeah, it's hard. I would assume Riven is strong in the beginning, and she's just using it to her advantage now. She got
I mean,
the
Riven
kills
can
on.
be strong throughout the game too.
Yeah.
She has with flash. She has one shot potential on pretty much any
With-
squishy.
Especially when you pick up kills all over the map.
Yep. Oh, but back to that point way ago before we had action everywhere. The thing about Orc versus Infinity Edge or BT Rush is, as the AD carry, your weakest point in that matchup is when you have Cutlass and they have BF Sword.
Yep.
So you want to finish Orc as quickly as possible, and that's why I don't like the Greed 5. Just to sum that up quickly.
Yeah, no, that's right on.
Let's see what we got item-wise coming out. Looks like Garen's gonna go Cleaver. Riven has Cleaver and Brutalizer at this point. Warrior for Kha'Zix, pretty standard, and Runeglaive for Diana. We have Tier 1 Hex Core for Victor, and Boots, and he's got Roa again. Roa Annie. Not a fan. I definitely like Ludens more on Annie.
Yeah. Looks like we
Especially
got a
when you
little
get an
bit of
early
an
lead.
invade here from Kha'Zix. Red team knows he's there.
Yeah, they know he's there.
It's good to maybe create pressure, but I think he's in a little bit too deep. This Draven is doing a ton of damage to Calista.
Why does she not have ult
He's-
up? Can she not reach there?
Oh, hi, there's a Diana. I don't think she had. She had. I don't think.
Oh, wow.
That Draven ulti. Wow.
And he might get out.
Yeah, he's out. right? Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
he's-
not. That's not his side
Oh,
of the map.
bad laser.
Where is the red team bot? Where's
The
the
Janna
lane for
shield.
red team?
Callista has to collapse on this.
Yeah,
to, like,
she really does. You
That
can't allow
farm-
the enemy team to beat you there in your
Yep.
own jungle.
Yeah. So Draven and Janna shoved in really hard, and they got Callista to half health, and that's when they went to go help out Kha'Zix. And while Callista was healing up and trying to see us under tower, they were there helping their team out.
By that point, though, by the time they did that, I feel like there's already been fighting for like 15 seconds in their own jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna shove this in. Riven doing some counter jungling of herself. This was what we were talking about earlier. Blue team's getting deep vision in red team's jungle, and
Yep.
they're pressuring their advantage right
Yeah,
now.
the vision
They've-
right now is pretty spectacular for blue team.
yeah, they denied both buffs. They picked up 2 kills on the bot side jungle, and now Riven has red and
Red
one
team
level lead,
has almost, they have 1-2 wards up.
and they have
one
3
ward up.
trinkets available right now.
Yeah. They really need to be warding up their own jungle entrances at this point at the very least. Because blue team's gonna just keep walking in and looking for picks at this point. Diana's gonna try a gank here.
I mean, this is ganking a losing lane and Diana's.
Yeah, it's a little risky. Nice flash.
Yeah. Especially Riven lanes. Riven can very easily 2v1 when she's ahead. Nice job by the Diana, at least, by going in after Riven's third Q was down, so she didn't get instantly knocked up.
Yeah.
But as we see right now, because Diana's not farming, she actually has a pretty big farm deficit compared to Kha'Zix.
Yep.
She's behind 2 levels. So this is why, especially early, you should be farming early and often with Diana. She's trying to look for ganks right now, but
But there's going to be a 3v3.
that
farm
dragon
here.
ward's bad, by the way. That's a really bad ward.
The gang's coming in.
Yep.
Alistar engaged, but Kha'Zix was already there.
Yep.
Oh,
and Janna's gonna
that
disengage.
Janna ulti wasn't the best.
Yeah, that could have waited. The only time I've seen Alistar engage is if he has flash up. He's only flash dude this game.
Yeah.
Also, Tuco, you know better, but don't you max heal on Alistar?
No.
You max Q?
Just
I
depends.
usually max Q. You can put a couple early points, like up to 3 for heal and lane if you're struggling.
I feel like this would be a lane you'd want to have
yeah.
more Q
Yeah,
points
you
in
can-
because it's Draven, Janna.
Yeah, like putting in 3 points in it wouldn't be bad. It'd be good. I know some
Yeah.
people in losing lanes. I've seen people level up heal. In which case, it makes sense. They are quite a bit behind.
Yeah. Everything else looks good.
Victor's really looking for a kill mid lane.
He just doesn't have the damage. Oh, if he keeps hitting all these E's, maybe.
Yeah. She has stun. Don't tower dive when she has stun.
Yup, bye.
He got it.
Hits it anyway, but
But
that's one of those things is you don't want to Q under tower and eat a stun. If you're gonna go for that, you have to flash RQ.
yeah.
Because your ult actually, base damage is pretty high. It's 250 plus, oh god, I forget what the actual scaling is. And then you'll get another tick from the first second.
Yeah.
So you usually get about a 340, 50 burst from it. Before resist, obviously. So she was low enough where if she just flashed RQ, probably would have got it. But set trade
I like-
1-1 and lose.
I like this pickup by blue team, seeing that their mid laner just go down and then rotate a middle to pick up an easy turret.
Yep.
Nobody there to defend it, so
Yep.
just pick it up.
And I'm going to harp on this Victor some more for his build. Alacrity boots are not what you want here, and neither is Lich Bane.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say all tier 1 turrets are down for red team. What should blue
Yep.
team's focus be here coming up in the next 2 minutes, 5
well, they just took Dragon. They have a pretty sizable gold lead. They can just turn that gold lead into vision, upgrade some trinkets, get some more wards down.
minutes?
And it's too early to pressure a Baron.
It is.
Especially with this team count, they're really squishy, and a Diana Victor could, especially with Baron debuff, 2v5 if they get the right engage. You'd want to ward up and start pressuring either these side lanes, or just like we said, you can't really siege mid, but push mid up and then rotate to a side lane.
Yeah, they already have a couple deep wards, not a lot, but if they put a couple more in. Oh, nice move here by Diana. Nice move. Oh, she misses the Q.
Yeah, just go on the Janna.
I don't think they're gonna be. Yeah, he's
No,
gonna get
because
it.
yeah, Draven's just really
Maybe
strong
just
right now with
double.
Triforce.
Triforce is actually a pretty viable build
Yep.
on him once you get those. If you get ahead, like you did with that very early kill.
Yeah.
Turning for his second item is really strong.
And there's Victor dying.
So Victor and Garen went to push top lane and were kind of just kicked out by Riven by herself. I'm not quite sure
Yep.
that's really effective, them two together.
And then Victor ends up just face checking and dies to an Annie.
Yeah.
It trades a 1-for-1, and Draven gets bot turret, so now this opens up the map a lot more.
It does. It opens up Baron a little bit too.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
With Riven pressuring this top side, it's going to be really hard for Red Team to even think about contesting dragons at this point. Riven can just endlessly split here. Diana's so far behind, she doesn't really have any damage. If you look comparatively for junglers, she's down to 2,500 gold.
Red team's turret has been
The Kazakhs. And there, speak of the devil, there's the Kazakhs. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, there's Victor dying too. Alright, so this is a snowbally game going out of control with some of the snowballiest champions in the game.
Well, when you're in a position like this where you're getting beat up pretty much every lane, you want to, before you start going and face checking, just get some wards out. That way you have an idea of where the enemy is, and if you have to sit and defend, at least you have that vision to play with. But I mean, it is really hard to play against a snowbally team like this.
Yeah, you essentially have to do what's called step warding, and just take your vision up slowly.
Yep.
Like, Kalista should not be walking right here, because she's just dead.
If
That's
you want to
just
look
bad
at
happening.
Red Team's vision right now when she decided to walk that way, not a good
Is
idea.
non-existent.
There's nothing.
Also, this Garen is
and
doing the
Garen
same thing.
walking this way as well.
Like, you guys can't walk through that alley when you had a turret up, so you can just walk behind the turret and pick up the XP and CS.
Yeah.
But this jungle is double pink and just controlled
Oh,
by
nice.
blue.
There's a good flash roll. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
boy, Draven's gonna live.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that was great.
Well then.
Yeah.
That bloodthirster
We might
don't
see.
work.
Yep, there's a surrender.
Yeah.
Okay, quick
That's
one.
understandable.
This is one of those. While every game can be winnable, this was one of those 0.01 percenters.
Yeah.
But we can go to the stats and try and work out what happened here.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. I am at the stats page. Let me.
Oh,
switch
you
up
can
the
start because
scene.
mine's still loading.
There we go. Yep. Let's see. Look at the gold. Slow increase. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I mean, this game really turned about, what is that, 12 minutes? When
Yeah,
Riven
yeah.
got that TP triple.
yeah, you can see it. They were ahead by 2,000 gold at the 11-minute mark, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But once
But it was
that,
after that, yeah.
after that it started increasing quite a bit. But I want to take a look at wards because Red Team, they didn't have their own jungle warded for the longest time.
Yup.
Wards placed. Alistar placed 17. Jaina placed 17. It was a 23-minute game. I think there needs to be more than just 17 placed by supports. But
I mean, if you look at the pinks purchased, mid lane didn't buy any, Garen didn't buy any.
Callisto,
Garen only had 6 wards placed that game.
Yeah. Diana bought 4 pinks.
I mean, she was trying.
Yeah.
Kalista, I don't expect you. Like, you could try and get a pink. AD carries, it's really hard for them to consistently pick up wards.
Yeah.
But mid lane should definitely have more wards than this.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't so much necessarily the number of wards, but like a couple times throughout that match, if you guys go back and look, I'll compare the vision of blue team and the vision of red team, and it's not even close in terms of where the vision was. Blue team had they had the river lined up first, and then once they got a lead, they can play aggressive because they can be careful of ganks. They'll know when they're coming because they have the whole river lit up. And once they do and be aggressive and take that advantage in lane without having to worry about a gank, and they take that tower, then they can move up their next set of wards, which they did. Towards the end of the game, they weren't so great about it, but they were still able to make some picks. But I felt like that made a huge difference and really enabled the snowball. But
Agreed.
yeah. All right,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
the ward coverage, and then they had their foundation ward line through the river, and then like even on the top lane, I remember they kept inching up their pink wards. So like even if you have like a good foundation of pink wards moving in, and you have that strong advantage, use your advantage to increase. Maybe buy another pink ward and put it around Dragon if that's what you're going to go for next, or Baron if that's what you're going to go for next. And I saw they did a good job of pressing up those wards on the top side. When they were taking those top towers and then mid pressure as well.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
First one to go through is Riven.
Riven, standard Riven builds coming in. Sometimes we see Cleaver, Tiamat before, if you don't want to get Brutalizer, but I'm not even gonna harp on that. That's fine.
Brutalizer?
She got it first. After she got that first kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got it. Okay, instead of longsword. Okay, I see what happened here. You back bot after. By the way, if you're gonna do a camp, you can start Doran's Blade on Riven. Just saying. Don't sell that ward. You don't need the extra longsword in that lane if you already got a kill. Brutalizer would be more enough. Keep that ward. It didn't really matter as much because Diana wasn't pressuring because she can't. But still, don't sell that ward. Rest of it's fine.
Microphone muted.
Yeah, you snowballed. You had that really nice TP bot lane at, what was that, 12 minutes to get the triple. And then from there, you just were all over the map pressuring. You contributed top lane wards once you got that first tower down. It just pushed your lead, as you should, helping out the other lanes too. I don't really have too much else to say about that. Oh, except the stutter at auto under tower when you and Kha'Zix both flashed and didn't get it. Don't cancel your autos. Hey.
I don't really have much to add for that. That was my biggest key thing is that was a great opportunity play when the TP went bottom and picking up those 3 kills.
Mm-hmm.
Good map awareness, and the Garen lane is sometimes
activated.
can be very hard for Rivens, so got to be patient too.
Yep,
but
look for your opportunities. But we can move on to Draven.
Yeah, the Draven.
Draven. So we had that awkward Alistar hit level 2, flashed in, and you guys didn't panic bot lane.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive to see.
What should have probably happened, I don't remember if you were a creep or 2 creeps off, but as soon as you guys backed off of that, is try to kill that creep as quick as possible, and then go back in for that level 2. I mean, it worked out in the end anyway, because Alistar ended up tanking an entire wave of minions. You guys hit 2, the end of that exchange. And then after that, you just kind of murdered everybody because you bought a 12-minute BT.
Yep. I did like the decision to get a Triforce after for a second item. Whoa, a little bit of buzz there.
Yeah, 12-minute BT followed by 6 minutes later Triforce. Yup.
Yeah, that's very strong. And the cashing in stacks even there was an early cash in that probably helped out on some of those items.
Yep.
And just overall pressure, make sure if your support's not warning up your lane, if you're putting that much pressure to ward yourself. But you were CSing really well, you were catching axes well, you were stacking well. So maybe one thing to work on, since you're doing a lot of the things well, is to look for those extra auto attacks when the enemy's going for CS. I noticed you were poking a lot, but I think you could poke even more. When the enemy's going for that one CS, hit him with an axe.
Yep. And that goes for all laners too. Always look for opportunities to weave in autos. Mid lane, it matters a lot. When you're playing things like Ahri, Victor, Annie, when you can just TF, when you can just weave those autos in between CS, it really helps, you know, kill potentials and just overall trading. Kha'Zix.
He
Oh, go ahead.
started off with 2 strong ganks, right?
Yep.
I think so. One in mid lane and one in top lane, where they both flashed and couldn't secure the kill there at the end.
Yeah, good movement. Good gank in the mid lane early. You were able to pick up that kill right as the Annie. I'm sorry, right as the Victor flashed. And then on the top one, that was just unfortunate that both people missed. But good movement, good early ganks. And then you were in the. I remember this instance where you were bot jungle, bottom was pressing up hard, and you actually went in against the Diana, and then the Draven ult picked it up. So it was a pretty gutsy play, but you were able to have some teammates come and help you out.
I don't think he was actually looking to kill the Diana there. I think he was literally looking to get out, and he didn't have vision of the Diana, and she just happened to be there.
That would make more sense. Okay.
Because if you remember, Diana was collapsing from the blue buff wall, and then
yeah, and he jumped over blue buff wall towards mid.
Victor was coming up from dragon to blue buff, so he didn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah, turned a poor situation into a.
Yeah. Annie.
Yep. Annie. She.
First thing I'm gonna say is just work on your CS. So
Mhm.
It's pretty low for a 24-minute game, especially when you can just use Q. Should be closer to like probably 150s, 160s, 170s would be good to aim for. So just work on that in lane. I saw you missing quite a bit. Also, probably should have boots at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the strengths of Annie is she has pretty strong roaming potential, and so I guess taking that ignite, she really wanted to focus mid, but she wasn't really able to. I feel Victor did a good job of keeping the pressure up in mid lane by pushing the wave and keeping her correct.
Yeah, that's what Victor does though. He
Yeah.
just shoves you in and then just keeps shoving you. As long as he has jungle pressure behind him, he can just shove in and take turret really early. Unfortunately, we saw that in the opposite way where Kha'Zix had more jungle pressure.
Yep.
But I agree, like, you should have probably got boots earlier. I mean, if we look at what your buy timings.
No, well, it also just helps in terms of dodging that laser from Victor.
Yep. And that's a majority of Victor's damage.
Yeah, so boots are a great investment.
So, like, instead of buying an amp tome at 13 minutes, you could have got boots in, like, another ward or two. Just little things like that.
Yep.
Janna. You played the lane pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, she played it well.
To be fair, I mean, it's just slamming E on Draven and then letting Draven do Draven things.
Mm-hmm. There was one ultimate where I felt it kind of almost
Was
saved
it early?
Diana. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty early. I remember, like, Diana didn't even ult in at that point. She just kind of walked, and I understand you were disengaging, but you don't have to blow that until you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you see Diana come in, then you can use ult and knock her away.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of standing there, chilling out, not doing much.
Yep.
Good job buying multiple pinks in the same backing. I actually don't see supports do this enough, especially when you're ahead and you want to move your vision around. Having multiple pinks in your inventory is a really nice way to do that.
Yeah, I can't think of too much else. There's while they were Janna isn't necessarily an engaged champion, but there was a couple times when Kha'Zix went bot to gank, and Alistar Kalista is a pretty tough lane to gank. If she had hit one or two, like she missed a tornado, I think, in one of those ganks. Maybe go back and take a look and maybe figure out if you know your jungler's coming, you can kind of bait yourself out a bit, especially if you, as Janna, because you can ult people away from you or behind you if they engage on you before the jungler shows up. So that's just something to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, not
Yeah,
much
I don't
else.
I don't really have much to add, but the warding was good. Just watch out. Be very aware and patient on your ults. I know it's sometimes I feel like when I play Janna that I have to make a play with your ult. You don't necessarily have to make a play. You can be very defensive, and if you see your team getting low, you can use it as a healing option too, which I saw you kind of did and made a play at the same time near the end of the game in mid lane and at their inhibitor turret, and that was really well done.
Yep. Okay, we can move on to Alistar. Okay.
Yep.
Good job recognizing at level 2 that you guys had the level 2 advantage. But you didn't need to flash in.
Yeah.
It seems like you only engaged when you had flash. It seems you only wanted to flash Q and then headbutt somebody back in. And sometimes you just headbutted targets into your allies when you really didn't want to do that. I remember bot lane when Riven TP'd. You headbutted the Riven into the Kalista. You can engage in other ways. You don't always have to just burn flash for that. Also, don't just stand in the minion wave and tank it the entire time. That was part of the reason you guys lost that level 2 exchange, is you just stood in minions and tanked 6 minions, which is pretty much like a person and a half. So, work on that.
Yeah. Upgrade your trinket earlier.
He was really behind in gold. He didn't get sights down
Yeah.
until 10 minutes. So
I mean,
that's
Yeah.
a little rough. Probably should have done it around the 18-minute mark instead of getting that ruby crystal. Just get your upgrade on your trinket so you can at least try and deny some vision.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really have for that. I mean, if anyone wants to add anything else.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think I'm
Diana. You needed the farm more.
Yes. After
And
those, go ahead. Yeah.
As much as you want to help your lanes, I remember you sitting in mid for like a good 30 seconds when you were just level 5, and you can't just walk up to Annie. You ended up burning the flash because Annie went aggressive, but there is no way you guys were getting that kill.
Yeah.
So you should have been in the jungle just clearing. Diana has a pretty good clear speed too, so you can always clear camps and then show up in lane. Also, as Tuco pointed out, you kind of walk through lane one time when there's no reason to show. Mid live's already gone, and it was just kind of giving away your position for no reason, so don't do that. Build's fine. Don't build Nashers. Nashers is actually a trap. Don't build it. I can go into that later, but it's Nashers. It seems like it should be good, but it's not. Don't do it. There's other things, especially into this team comp, you probably would want like Azonia's, Abyssal.
Yeah,
Or if you just want to man up, go Luden's Death Cap and kill people. That wasn't going to happen this game because you were so far behind, but yeah.
I'm definitely a fan of the high burst damage coming out of the jungle as Diana with exactly what you said with Ludens or Hourglass and Abyssal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when your first couple ganks almost worked out, but not quite, you doubled down on future ganks, and when you do that, you just fall further and further behind. It's okay to spend the next 5 minutes focusing on farming and getting level 6 and catching up on items. It's probably the best thing to do if you ever fall behind as a jungler, is to just start farming, ward up your jungle entrances, and try to counter gank. But yeah, I like the aggression. It was just at that point, it hurts more. It hurts you yourself more the more you go out there and keep doubling down on ganking when you haven't been successful. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Garion, yeah, unfortunate with that early death. At that point, you just have to play the lane safer. Let her shove up. Just try and get CS under tower when you can. It's really hard to play into a Riven Snowball when she's just
What do you
really
suggest
far
for starting items for
What did he
Garen?
start, Dorn Shield?
He started a Dorn Shield.
That's fine. I mean, if you really want... Garen does have pretty good sustain just from his passive. So you could just start... Dorn's is fine. You also see Claw 5. Those are the only 2 starts I could see into Riven right here.
Yeah.
And then he went. I mean, the thing is, you want Cleaver on Garen, but at some point you just have to abandon that build path and just build straight tank.
Yeah.
Just because of how far behind your team was, you needed to have that extra front line. So moving into something like Randuin's before finishing Cleaver might have been okay. It's really hard to say, just like we said, there was a huge lead, and games like this are not necessarily hard to break down, but it's really hard to say, okay, you could have done this, and this would instantly change the game, because there's so many things that need to go right in that game. His start's fine. I honestly would have said, don't skill Q first, and take E if you see Rivenant in there and just shove her in. Get it under tower and reset so she misses some CS. Because you saw her jungle clear wasn't very quick, so you could have done that. That's all I had.
Remember 10 pot start on Garen.
Oh, I remember 10 pot start on Katarina.
Oh my goodness.
Thought it was like 12 pot on Katarina or something like that.
Well, it depended if you it depended on if you wanted a ward or not.
Oh yeah.
It was great. I loved doing that. Katarina best champion. Victor.
I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand what happened here. I forgot you died at 4 minutes to a Kha'Zix gank.
Yep.
But I don't see.
It might have been earlier than 4 minutes, wasn't it? Or was it
3:52 because that's when he bought again.
Technically earlier.
So that's why you didn't get early upgrade. The thing here is at 6 minutes you might have got shoved out of lane. At that point, it's better to just buy some pots and wards if you really want to get back and save for that, because this upgrade is way more important to anything you could buy on Victor.
Yeah. By
delaying this till 13 minutes, you lose a ton of wave clear or just a ton of damage on his kit. And also Lich Bane's bad on Victor. Unless bad.
It's good when you've already built up a high enough base AP for it to really
also
hurt.
For Lich Bane builds, you generally want Ghost to be able to move around in fights.
Yeah.
You'll need the extra move speed to get all your procs on people, because then you have to get your autos in for your damage if you're building Lich Bane.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something where you want Ghost instead. Usually what I've been doing is in this lane, Abyssal would have been okay. I like Ludens early on Victor a lot. It shores up your wave clear if your team's lacking, and it allows you to shove in quicker. Usually an E, like empowered E, if you have the upgrade already with Ludens, will almost clear a wave. I think it'll leave like a melee minion or 2 melee minions depending on how you cast it. So I like that build a lot. Other than that, more wards. Buy more wards.
Did we talk about the flash into Annie with their stun yet?
Yeah, don't just walk up, because you didn't even flash there. You just kind of walked up, queued her under tower, and tried to walk away, and she stun locked you. Just flash and kill her if you're going to commit to that.
Yeah.
That way she doesn't get any return damage, really. Because she got her full rotation off on you under tower. And you still managed to get the kill, but you could have been done cleaner.
Yeah. We could move on down to Kalista, maybe?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We already talked about how you want to rush Bork. Oh yeah, she did have 2 80 coins. That's why she had 83 attack damage at level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she had 80 quins.
Yeah, you usually just want 3 attack speed quins. But I guess it's fine. I don't know Kalista builds.
I think sometimes people take those quints just to help out on the yeah, exactly. The CS.
And also you build Bork first, so your attack speed isn't that bad early. But yeah, instead of getting boots there, rush that so you can get out of that power lull, because EF or Cutlass versus EF sucks really bad. Like terribly bad. It's the least fun you'll have in your League of Legends career. So just do that. Maybe switch to Blue Trinket earlier so you didn't have to face check. And this is for everybody on Red Team. Don't walk through your jungle when there's no wards and they just took mid tower into like 4 people. Don't do that. You gave them like 3 kills consecutively. Because you're just like, I'm going to walk through here, and then Kha'Zix one-shot you. think about where they are and what they just did, and then don't go into those areas without vision.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But do you guys have anything else to add overall for the games?
Not necessarily. Garen could probably look back at the replay and find himself. Maybe he could have stayed back a bit and waited for his passive to heal him up before he went back in. But I feel like if he goes back, he could probably see a lot of opportunities where he could have done better in lane. Just in terms of like deciding when to use silence and certain abilities, and a lot of that is just knowing when Riven uses some of her abilities and knowing which ones are off cooldown. I think that's like half the matchup with her. But yeah, try to get a feel for those cooldowns. I think he'll do much better against her next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for me. Unless you guys have anything else to add.
Nope.
Nope.
I think at this point we will cut the stream, and when we return, we will be back.